All right, Shalom Akim. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rekakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect. And this lesson is going to be entitled That They May Run That Readeth It. And the reason why I played this clip in the beginning of the lesson is to illustrate, how the Lord is with his men. And the reason being is so that we can too realize how important following instructions are, because that's the main reason why, when you go to military academy or whatever, the basic training, all right, you have to realize how important following instructions are, because that's literally, how it's going to be on the battlefield. A bunch of yelling, all right, chaos, but you have to remember to keep your head, all right, and not following your commander's instructions could, hey, have you being put to death. Okay, so that's the same with how the Lord through the Spirit is dealing, and how He spoke to His men. When you read the scriptures, the Lord was very direct, very harsh with His lessons. Okay, which we're going to read when you go into the book of the book of Jonah. All right, He spoke roughly with Ezekiel, different men of the Lord, because they had to follow instructions directly in order to relay the message as it was told to them. All right. So this is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 1. It says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower and will watch to see what he will say unto me and what I shall answer when I am reproved. Okay. And that word reprove meaning rebuked, corrected, punished, chastised. Okay. So the Most High spoke to his men in a reproving manner, and may have sometime even been in a condescending manner. Because again, he had to um he had to relate a message so that they could understand it. All right. If you're, whispering a message to somebody, they can't hear you. And not only can't they hear you, but they won't take it seriously. But if you're yelling at them, all right, it will evoke some type of emotion. Yeah, they may get angry, but at the end of the day, it will the message will have gotten across. All right. As a matter of fact, they'll be thinking about that message 2-3 days down the line. Even though they don't like the way it was presented, all right, it still has gotten across. So it says, and Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. Okay. So when you receive instructions, you also should what? To run. All right. To run swiftly, dark. All right. I liken it also into what? When you run in a relay race, the baton is passed to you. All right. You don't take your time to make it to the next person, because you could lose the race. The faster you run, the faster your team wins the race. Okay. And the faster we going out there doing this work, the more we're going out there and doing this work, rather, all right, is the faster Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai will wake up the elect and get us out of here. Okay. So when we go into the book of Jonah, right, which I'm going to read a little bit in Jonah 1, and then I might go to 2 and 3, or I might just skip to 3. But just showing the point of, in the beginning, Jonah, he was lax at the words of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. All right. But when we read through this chapter, which many people know about it, all right, the Lord had to send him through some hell, send him through, you know, uh, he had to send him through some hell, put him in a fish, put him in the fish, I mean, in the belly of a fish. All right. He caused, a great not an earthquake, but a great, storm that happened because of him, because of his, because he didn't move at the Lord's directions right away. So this is Jonah chapter 1, verse 1. Now the word of Yahweh came unto Jonah, the son of Amittai, saying, Arise, go to Nineveh, that great city, and cry against it, for their wickedness has come up before me. But Jonah rose up to flee into Tarshish from the presence of Yahweh, and went down to Joppa, and he found a ship going to Tarshish. So he paid the fare thereof, and went down unto it to go with them unto Tarshish from the presence of Yahweh. But Yahweh sent out a great wind into the sea, and there was a mighty tempest in the sea, so that the ship was like to be broken. Then the mariners were afraid, and cried every man unto his God, and cast forth the wares that were in the ship into the sea, to lighten it of them. But Jonah was gone down into the sides of the ships, and he lay and was fast asleep. So the shipmaster came to him, and said unto him, What meanest thou, O sleeper? Arise, call upon thy God, if so be that God will think upon us, that we perish not. And they said every one to his fellow, Come and let us cast lots, that we may know for whose cause this evil is upon us. So they cast lots, and the lot fell upon Jonah. Then said they unto him, Tell us, we pray thee, for whose cause this evil is upon us. What is thine occupation, and whence comest thou? What is thy country, and of what people art thou? And he said unto me, I am a Hebrew, and I fear Yahweh, and the God of heaven, which hath made the sea and the dry land. Then were the men exceedingly afraid, and said unto him, Why hast thou done this? For the men knew that he fled from the presence of Yahweh, because he hath told them. And it goes to prove, though, that you can never fear the Lord enough, you know, and you can never get lax on Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, because he will do some he will go above and beyond, so that you can learn your lesson. Then said they unto him, What shall we do unto thee, that the sea may be calm unto us? For the sea wrought and was tempestuous. All right, so the Most High caused a storm. Isaiah 29:6, Nahum 1:3. All right, goes into how the Most High causes storms. And he said unto them, Take me up and cast me forth into the sea, so shall the sea be calm unto you. For I know that for my sake this great tempest is upon us. Nevertheless, the men rowed hard to bring it to the land, but they could not, for the sea wrought and was tempestuous against them. Wherefore they cried unto Yahweh, and said, We beseech thee, O Yahweh, we beseech thee, let us not perish for this man's life, and lay not upon us innocent blood, for thou, O Yahweh, hast done it as it pleased thee. So they took Jonah, and this also goes to prove too, on a side note, that one man's mistake can fuck it up for everybody, man. As we always go into, even though all Israel didn't go straight from the Heavenly Father, we all got blamed for, you know, we all got blamed for others' mistakes, for others' negligence. So they took up Jonah and cast him forth into the sea, and the sea ceased from her raging. Then the men feared Yahweh exceedingly, and offered a sacrifice unto Yahweh, and made vows. Now Yahweh had prepared a great fish to swallow up Jonah, and Jonah was in the belly of the fish 3 days and 3 nights. All right, reading on, jumping to verse 2. I'm in chapter 2. Then Jonah prayed unto Yahweh his God out of the fish's belly, and said, I cried by reason of mine affliction, and unto Yahweh, and he heard me. Out of the belly of hell cried I, and thou heardest my voice. Okay, so the Most High, again, he had to basically scream into, which the Most High talks through what? Prophecy. Through prophecy. All right, through the signs in the heavens, through earthquakes. Okay, through his men, which the Lord told us in Isaiah 62, cry aloud, spare not, show my people their transgressions. All right. Again, when you cry, that's that's a very emotional thing. All right. Well, it's not ultimately not cry, but scream out. All right. Let's grab that actually. Um, Isaiah chapter 62, verse 2. No, 62. Maybe it's 58. Yep, Isaiah 58 and 1. Cry aloud, spare not. All right. To cry, to utter a loud sound. Okay. So when you cry, what's the word cry? Goes into the word korah, which meaning to call. Okay. So it says, cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and shew my people their transgression, and the house of Jacob their sins. So that's another way how the Lord can reprove you, as we just read in the book of Habakkuk. All right. So now let's go back to the book of Jonah. Right. So he cried out unto the Lord from the belly of hell because of his affliction. All right. So let's see what that entailed. Now we're going to jump to chapter 3 to see, all right, with that, what was the outcome, all right, of the Lord basically putting a foot in Jonah's ass. All right. So remember, he went from being lax to the Lord's word, all right, to receiving judgment, to receiving rebuke. Now we jump into chapter 3, Jonah 3, and I'll start at the top. And the word of Yahweh came unto Jonah the second time, saying, Arise, go unto Nineveh, that great city, and preach unto it the preaching that I bid thee. So Jonah arose and went into Nineveh according to the word of Yahweh. Now Nineveh was an exceeding great city of 3 days' journey. And Jonah began to enter into the city a day's journey, and he cried. You see? So Jonah going into the word Korah, right? And he cried, he uttered a loud voice and said, Yet 40 days and Nineveh shall be overthrown. You see? So he received the message, which that's all praise to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, even for that. All right, the scriptures say, when one sinner repents, that's a beautiful thing. You know, which he sinned by going against the ways of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. All right. So, and the wages of sin is death. So the Lord will rebuke you for not listening to him, as he did Jonah. All right. So that he may run that readeth it. All right. This is why, brothers come with rude speech. All right. We come at you very emotionally, you know, and through the carnal eye, you say, why are you yelling? I'm just trying to talk to you because this is a very deadly, serious thing. All right. And Jonah, he got the message. Therefore, what he cried unto the people of Nineveh. You could just imagine, it's a sunny day, everybody doing their bullshit. Then you got a man coming out of nowhere, just boo boo, barking at everybody. All right. Another one is Ezekiel. All right. Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 18. Verse 17. Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word of my mouth and give them warning from me. When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand. Yet, if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul. Okay? So the Most High, even, he spoke roughly to Ezekiel. Okay? Which Ezekiel, he then in turn had to tell Israel what it was. It wasn't in a nice manner. And Ezekiel, I was reading, you know, Ezekiel has what? We check it out. Ezekiel has 48 chapters. So he did a lot of rebuking. He did a lot of rebuking, which Ezekiel means strength of the power, Yakazak Allah. All right. It was even one I had read today through the spirit. I seen it on Apostles live stream, Ezekiel 44:5. And Yahweh said unto me, Son of man, mark well and behold with thine eyes. When you look at that word mark, it's to appoint, all right, to set, direct towards, okay. And when you yelling or you speaking in a harsh tone to someone, you know, that's marking an instruction. And behold with thine eyes and hear with thine ears all that I say unto thee concerning all the ordinances of the house of Yahweh and all the laws thereof, and mark well the entering in of the house with every going forth of the sanctuary. Okay. Then he proceeds to give him the instruction. Okay. But yeah, man, that he may runneth that readeth it. This is the book of Second Ezra, chapter 15, verse 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Okay, so these words are faithful, man. We don't have to divert from what the Lord have told us. So with that, hey, pray, all right, and get into these words, man. Read these words. We have to read these words emotionally, as the apostle Gabar sometimes goes into about was all the apostles go into how you got to be infatuated with these words. All right, you got to look into the words. Why did the Lord say it that way? All right, because if not, hey, the Lord's going to judge us. Hey, so with that, shalom to the elect.